This is great.
It's funny because nobody expected to be doing this.
Right, what the fuck? Like, what happened to the sports? What happened to sports?
What happened to sports?
I'm here so I won't get fined.
We talking about practice.
Come see me. I'm about that.
If it's gonna be an interview, I'm gonna conduct it. So I'll answer my own questions.
Okay, fellas, let's dive deeper into the heart, mind, and spirit of athletes. It's one of my favorite segments. This is Fourth and Inches. And it's time for some real conversation. Joining me today, we've got Brandon Marshall and a very special guest, Martellus Bennett.
I just don't know. I don't know how y'all talk me into this right now.
I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm here for everybody, so it's kind of cool.
Your voice in this conversation is going to be super key. So,
Have we ever seen a director go from behind the camera to sitting in a chair and performing?
Yeah. I mean, movies they do it all the time. Like Spike Lee will be in his movie. Tarantino will be in his movie. I mean, this is like, it's not quite my movie, it's our movie, but I think it's kind of cool when you do it, like you shoot and direct, like being in there. But I always wonder who gets the camera when you're in the set, if you're the director.
Well, we appreciate you going from behind the camera to here.
Absolutely.
We wasn't expecting it, so thank you.
in the hot seat with all of us.
Yeah, I'm here. It's a lot of chocolate going on.
Okay, chocolate. Okay, let's dive into things, guys. I currently am experiencing a masterclass on the power of your words and the influence of the media. And as former athletes, I'm sure that's something that you guys can relate to.
Yep.
I want to take the approach today as the student. I'm the student and you are the teachers, okay? This is the classroom.
Okay, masterclass.
I like that, because she always want to be the boss and always want to,
So I'm ready to learn.
They call me sensei, so.
Yes, sensei. So as former athletes, can you guys speak to the importance of the media in your profession, but also how you figured out how to navigate that space?
That's right.
You should go first because you started a media company.
Correct. And I started the media company because of how they cover us. And it's athletes, celebrities, artists, everybody in between. And you have to protect your character, protect your name, and you have to control your narrative, right? And so as athletes, we're trained since we're babies pretty much. I was in a newspaper when I was 7, 8 years old. So that process starts then. And then when you get to the big leagues, whether it's college and then to the NFL, we have 20, 30 men and women on the beat covering us every single day. And if you're the guy or the lady, you're going to have even more. And so we're naturally trained to block out both success and failure. They're both distractions. The great ones, Marty, and you know this, bro, we seen men fall because they had a bad game and they didn't know how to respond to adversity. Or maybe they said the wrong thing or they did the wrong thing. And I've been there several times. And the ones that keep going is the ones that's able to sit there and say, I hear it, but I know who I am and I'm still moving this forward. Or I course correct. Damn, I made a mistake, so let me get back on track. So I think as athletes, that's a big part of the whole process.
Well, I was pushed back. That was the athlete at one time. But when social media became a thing, the athlete no longer had to be trained. Like, they have access to the world from the moment. These kids has 1 million followers in 10th grade, 11th grade, seniors in high school. There's no media training for them. If they do, they need to start it younger because we speak directly to the media now. Right. No longer do you have to go to someone and have them write your story. We have been empowered to tell our own stories. And the thing is, when you understand the power you have in your voice, when you tell your story, it's like, what is my story? And how do I want to tell my story? So then you have to develop a taste for language. Like, how am I using my words and which words fit better, sit better, and hit better, and the timing and the pacing of these things in conversation. So I think the media kind of spectrum of it just kind of it's just dispersed. I could go tweet right now and be heard by 300,000 people, right? I could go do Instagram and be heard by 10,000 people.
Why you laughing?
But the problem is what happens too is like, so when we learned media, there was a barrier to the audience.
Yeah.
Right? If I go talk to a newspaper, they had to read the newspaper. But now when I talk, they can come talk directly back to me in my comments, in my DMs. They can hit me up. They can even email me.
To me, that's the same thing though. Like, bruh, I don't even read the comments.
Why?
Because it's a distraction. But hold on. I can hire somebody I do know, social media, Instagram, right? Like, you gotta think about this. And this is what I'll say to you, Kayla, like, you are now the prize. Before, it's like, okay, Kayla, who's Kayla? Now Kayla is Kayla. Kayla is her own enterprise. Kayla is her own entity. So now you are learning celebrity. Like, we've been doing it since we were here, right? But now think about it. To your point to social media, you have to engage. You have to read DMs, you have to read comments. But when you're a celebrity, man, taking all that in, that could be detrimental. That could be tough for your mental health. You can hire somebody for that. I approach comments the same way I approach newspaper clippings. I don't read that shit.
So that's cool. I understand you. But my thing is everybody else is reading it. This shapes the identity that you have. Everybody else will source it through the comments. This person said this person says that. That has influence on your belief of who I am.
Yeah. But does it matter? Why do I care what they... I know who I am.
Well, but again, go ahead.
Can I interject?
Yes, go ahead.
Because I think both things can be true. There's an extent to where the comments, likes, the dislikes don't matter. And you have to be a very mentally sound, tough person to be able to block out that noise. And I think as an athlete who's experienced that their whole life, it probably comes a little bit easier for you, second nature. And to your point, as someone who wears the title of influencer, there is a part of me that cares about how I'm influencing people and what they think of me and what they have to say of me. So looking back on my decisions, even recently, sitting down and doing a podcast, I felt like there were moments where I articulated myself in a really good way, and then were moments where if I could go back, I would maybe change the way that I said things because it didn't fully embody my character or my heart. But that's something that I'm learning, right? As athletes, y'all have mastered that because you've done that your whole life.
To a certain extent, I think that the biggest thing that you have to go through is you have to understand self-identity.
Before we move forward there, how are you feeling with that? Because that is a big moment. Because I've been on shows before where it was like the gotcha moment, where your team say, "Hey, we're going to stay off topic here. We're not going to dive into this," and then you get there and it's like, boom.
Yeah.
So that was just last week. How do you feel?
I feel like I'm learning. You know, I'm trying to continue to have the courage to stand in my power, to be myself, to answer questions honestly and transparently. But I also think that media training and a little PR goes a long way, because you don't have to answer every question. Like, every comment or DM doesn't deserve a response. I'm learning that.
Here's my question to you. I was gonna say this about, do you feel like you're in a phase of self-discovery, or do you know who you are? I mean, we're always in a form of self-discovery, but like I'm diving deeper into who I am as an essence, but I know who I am. I'm just getting to know myself better.
I know who I am. I've done the work to figure out who I am. I think what I am discovering is the power of my words and the power of my influence. I don't think that I was aware of that before.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, my personality is
Spicy.
Spicy.
Just say spicy.
It's spicy, and that can be perceived and received a million different ways.
That's true.
But that's what I want to talk about, man. Marty, I feel like we may be on opposite ends of the spectrum here, but it's like when you know who you are, right? And especially when you have a platform and you have thousands of people following you every single day. You are it. You are her right now. And you will always be, but from a media standpoint, all eyes on Kayla. And you have to be able to take the good with the bad and just continue to move forward. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter. You have to be strong. Think about all these other athletes and celebrities, right? That they just talk, and they just stand up there and they just like, boom, I know who I am, and stay here. It doesn't mean it doesn't affect you, but you just got to do that work, and then you also just have to grow into that. And I got there probably like 15 years ago. Marty, I don't care, bro. I don't care because I know who I am. And there's times where I make mistakes for sure. But it's like, all right, let me get back on track. And it's hard when it's like, dun-dun-dun, Brandon Marshall arrested.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's like,
I was there. I got the phone call. Dang, that's messed up.
None of us are perfect.
I've never been arrested.
Me either.
Okay. You only got one criminal
on the set. Okay, got it. That's crazy. Why would he do it like that? That's crazy.
I almost got arrested one time. I was at PetSmart, right? And
Before you share this story, I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know. This is me. Before you share this story, and although it's your truth, make sure that you want to share this story with the world.
Yeah, you right. You know
All right,
what I'm saying? I'm a vet, baby.
Go ahead, my brother.
Hey.
Go ahead, my brother.
So, I'm at PetSmart. At this time, what I used to do, my daughter Jet was really into unicorns. So I used to take cupcakes and hide them in the backyard and be like, there's unicorn poop, and we'd go find them, and she'll eat the cupcakes, and I'd be like, oh, you eating unicorn poop? And he's like, it's so good, right? Like a whole daddy thing.
Okay.
And one day I'm getting ready to get her a goldfish. You know, it's like, okay, you 3, goldfish time, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we go to PetSmart and we were looking at the goldfish, and she sees the parrots and the parakeets and all these other animals, and she goes, Dad, do you think they got unicorns? I'm like, shit, okay, before I could do it, this old white dude said, ain't no such thing as unicorns. I was like, motherfucker, in my house, that's motherfucking unicorns. Don't you ever come tell my daughter ain't no unicorn. That's like you gonna tell my daughter ain't no magic in the world. Don't fuck with my kid. Baby, there's unicorns. I don't know what the fuck he talking about. And all our unicorns are black. Black unicorns. Right? Let's not get it twisted. All our unicorns are black, and there's a lot of unicorns out there, and you can have a unicorn. And his daughter was like, probably like 15, 16. She's like, Dad, why would you say that to her? So then I wrote the book, There's a Unicorn in My Backyard. So that every kid in the world, talking about the power of messaging, that every kid could know that there's a possibility of magic being in your backyard. And that's why I wrote that children's book.
Right. That's good. That's powerful, bro. And like you said, the power of platform. And that's what we're talking about here. 4th and Inches, get an opportunity to go deeper. And I don't have too much to say here. I think, Marty, you asked a powerful question. Are you in self-discovery, or do you know who you are? And I think you know who you are. Well, I know you know who you are. You already said that. But now it's like God has put you in position. He's elevating you. And with that, it comes a lot of changes. And so I'm thankful to partner with you on this platform. I've been doing it independently for 5 years now, and I've worked with a lot of people. You're an awesome teammate. You're amazing. And I think you are the key to everything that I want to do moving forward.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, and so with that comes a lot of responsibility, and you navigating through that, like, damn, they really are listening to me. They really do admire me. They appreciate you. And here's the other thing here. And I'll say this, right? Like, I went through a big breakup, right?
We know. We read the paper.
That's right. So I went through
I was there.
Yeah,
I got the call.
So I went through a big breakup. And what helped me continue to move forward, because afterwards that year, the platform actually outperformed the previous 2. And what I understood was there's 320 million Americans, give or take a few. And when you look at the comments, it feels like the majority is the ones that are negative, right? But the reality is not. Like, so many people rock with you. Look at our comments. I am athlete.
I agree.
Everybody's fire. Kayla's amazing. Kayla's that. But when you read the comments, this is why I say don't read the comments, is because when you read the comments, most of the people who's in there that have time to do that, they're trolls, and they're going to say something negative. And then you think like, oh my goodness, this is the perception, this is how everybody feels. And the reality is you about to have 1 million followers probably by the end of this year, and those 1 million people chose to follow you because they admire you, they appreciate you, and they love you. And so that's why I don't read that stuff, man.
I agree. I think social media landscape is tough to navigate sometimes. There was a point in my life and career where I did respond to comments, and I did respond to those DMs, and nasty too. Like, I'm gonna talk about your mama and your kids. That's what I used to do. Now, I don't read them. I don't even so much as delete them.
That's even more powerful.
Because yes, it's only relevant if you give it energy.
That's right.
you can't give it any
It's
energy.
all words.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Words have
Absolutely.
no power until we give power to them.
Absolutely.
I tell this all the time because one day, I'll just tell you, my daughter was on the playground and my wife was, Siggy, she was very embarrassed because she went to go pick up Jet. And my little sister at the time was living with me, Ashley, and Ashley's afraid of bugs. Like she just, dang it, so like, my girl, you like 10 feet tall, you gonna be scared of bugs. But then Jet picked it up from Ashley. But one day Siggy go pick Jet up and Jet's on the playground and there's a beetle. And she's the big beetles or whatever is running from her. And she goes, it's a motherfucking beetle! It's a motherfucking beetle!
Jet did?
Yeah, and start, So, no, I'm just telling you, like, right, influence, right? My sister's influencing my daughter. Right? But, you know, so my wife's like, I can't believe she said that she's in trouble. So I was like, all right, when I get home, I'll sit down and talk to Jed about the power of words.
Yes.
Motherfucker's not a bad word. Like, if I raised kids if I groomed dogs and I had dogs on the farm and I was like, go get the bitch, you'll go get the bitch, which is the female dog. And if you came to school and be like, we got bitches at the house, right?
It's a different conversation.
It's a different conversation.
Context.
Right? So context is important, right?
Context is so important. Context is so important, Lord Jesus, context is important.
That's my whole point, right?
Rather than 15-second clips
right,
when there's an hour-long conversation.
Because now you
context is
Because now
important.
imagine if this kid is at school and they be like, oh, bitches are outside. They look out the fence of the playground and be like, look at all the bitches. And the teacher be like, come here. And they reprimand the kid and take him to the principal office for saying the bitches are outside. Well, in fact, the bitches were outside. And I say this because, like, when I talk to my daughter that night, you know, sit down, I have to give her some ice cream, and I always think about that scene in, like, Men in Black when Tommy Lee Jones was talking to Will Smith before he became a part of the Men in Black. So I give my daughter ice cream, and we talking about this. I was like, so what happened at school? She's like, oh, Daddy, I don't want to say it. I was like, what'd you say? She said, I said, it's a motherfucking beetle. And I was like, okay. Well, first thing I'm gonna say, you used it right.
Right.
That's the perfect timing, perfect way to use the word motherfucker, right?
She had the perfect pace.
But not the pace, tone, everything. You hit it. I'm proud of you. But let's not do that right here on this playground in this place right here. You know what I'm saying? There'll be time when me and you, Daddy, are outside, and I'm gonna be like, hey, it's a motherfucking beetle. And I want you to say it with me. But
time and a place.
because I don't want to teach my daughter that there's a such thing as bad words. Because I don't want to limit her vocabulary. Because any word could be bad.
Yeah.
My thing is to teach her how to use the language so that she can empower herself to tell whatever stories that you want to tell. We're a writing family. My wife went to school, Sarah Lawrence, got a degree in writing. I write all the time, and my daughter's a writer. So language is big in our household. And context is big when we tell about these stories as well. So it's like, a lot of people, thing about the other issue is America can't read.
Yeah. Oh, hell.
Right now, in like, the literacy rate in America is terrible. 75% of black boys by the 4th grade aren't up to reading level.
Wow. I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
That is.
Right? So, like, you think about reading is like, you can't make it through life. You could get by without knowing math. You could get a calculator, right? But if you can't read or comprehend, then how can you make it and navigate through life?
Why is that so powerful, like reading? Well, know what I mean? When you say the statistics, because statistics show it.
So there's multiple reasons.
Trickles down to other areas of life.
100%. One is the prison system, right? So like the prison system is interesting because it's like a hotel. You gotta be able to tell how many people are gonna be in prison at a certain period of time in order to keep the rooms filled, because it's for profit. One of the number one ways of telling that is how many kids are up to grade reading level by the 4th grade. If 75% of black boys aren't up to reading level in 4th grade, how many black boys are actually in prison right now?
Yeah.
Right? The other thing too, books are windows to the world, right? If you can't read, you can't learn, right? Readers are leaders. I know I sound like a teacher up here on that. This is not the thing, but I just think about comments and context and being able to interpret what someone is saying, because now they have issues with kids going to college right now because they never read full books. They just get the text, what they need. They only read what they need and hear what they want to hear, but they never read full novels anymore. Yeah. So you can't really comprehend at the level that you need to comprehend that because you can't even read between the lines.
That's good.
That's why I thought about the comments. I realized that people can't read. And one reason I know people can't read too, because they be like, hey, where can I get this? You be like, I just wrote it in the bio. Or my other thing that upset me too, when people say, I ain't reading all that. That just shows you the appetite for reading. That's right. Right? Because they don't really want to know.
But then think about this, and we'll do this. We'll go around. We'll all give, some inspiration to people out there, and then we'll land the plane here. But we spend all this time performing for other people, right? Writing, creating content, and we let how they interpret it or respond to it. We let them dictate how we live our life. Am I saying that correctly?
I don't know what you're trying to say. It's your language.
So let me back up here. Depending on how people respond to what we put out in the world, a lot of times determine how we operate and how we function.
I can see that.
And how we feel. And you actually have the key, like you broke through. It's like, I'm going to create because I love creating, and I'm gonna do this because I love it. And if you like it, good. If you don't, it doesn't matter. And so we'll go around. All right, I'll go, and then you go, Marty, and then Kayla, you get in the plane, but we'll all put something out there that people can take away. For me, it's know who you are and understand that there's going to be good and there's going to be bad, and you got to deal with it both. Success and failure are both distractions. As long as you know who you are and you're developing, that's the only thing that matters. The comments, the newspaper clippings, it doesn't matter. You can learn a lot from professional athletes. Every single day, Dak Prescott or even Deshaun in his situation got to show up to work and try to do the best job.
Yeah, but 37 massage therapists in one season is wild.
Okay, now
We're not going there.
We're not going
there.
That's a lot of dudes. I only one person worked on me for my entire career because they knew my body. 37 different hands.
Cut the tape.
Bro, that's 74 hands touching you. Like, you don't know how I like my hamstring rub. You don't have my.
We were doing so good. We were almost at the finish line.
I'm just saying. That's
hell no.
All right, once you give those, so what do you have anything for anybody?
Closing remarks?
Yeah, closing remarks.
I think that,
like, it's crazy.
I would love to take a page out of Marshawn Lynch's book. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Every question doesn't require an answer.
Yeah, that's good.
You don't have to give energy to everything that's being thrown at you. And I think it's really important too to just continue to encourage people in the public eye, whether they're athletes, celebrities, influencers, hosts, to have the courage to be disliked, have the strength to be your authentic self, and think before you speak.
Yeah, that's good.
There's actually a book called Have the Courage to Be Disliked.
Really?
Yeah, I have it in my library.
I would love to read it.
I will send it to you.
I would
love
love
being
to
in the
read
library.
it.
I saw Beauty and the Beast, and ever since I was a kid, I was like, I want more books than that the Beast had.
Yeah, me too. I'm
the
gonna
Beast,
read it, though.
The Beast even knew the power in books.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I will go back on one thing that you said. I think as for me as a creative, I think that one thing that is important, I think when you make something, you want people to love it. You want people to like it. You put a lot into it. So like when we release the creativity, it's the deepest part of ourselves. We're revealing ourselves in a different way than we would just the facade of what you see. Like I'm telling you my deepest thoughts, my ideas. Sharing your ideas with somebody is a form of intimacy. We don't even do that. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like my deepest ideas, my biggest ideas, you can't, like that's fragile. Who you take that to first can change the whole landscape of what the idea becomes. Like what do you do with an idea? Who do you take an idea to? Right? And I would say that, so like, and everything that a human being enjoys is the result of another human being's creativity. Right? Like, I say this all the time. God made apples, he didn't make apple pie. You know what I'm saying? That was the imagination. Then somebody else said, ooh, apple pie. You know what? I'm gonna make an apple turnover. Then another dude came by and said, you know what? Apple cider. And then some dude was like, ooh, it's hot out here. Apple juice. So, no, you know what I'm saying? But you think about that, like all we doing is iterating on the imaginations that came before us.
Yeah.
Right? So your whole thing is like, well, we're telling you the information that we're sharing with you so that you can iterate on the things that we experienced before you. Right? And it's not like, I don't think of it in a way of like, I have the answers. Because I don't know. I don't want fame. I don't want people bothering my wife. I don't want people bothering my daughter. I don't want to be seen. I want my characters to be famous. Right? I want you to know my work. But me personally, that's a part of me that I will never give the public. But I think the problem with the social media is you feel like you reveal too much of yourself to them. I reserve a huge chunk of myself for my close loved ones. There's a Martellus that only my wife knows.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
Only my daughter knows. Only my brother. So I think part of it is like,
Why is that making you so emotional thinking about that or saying that?
because first of all, I'm an emotional dude, but I also love the people that I love. Mm-hmm. But everyone doesn't deserve every part of you. You got to protect you. Only give that. Don't give that away. You don't deserve that part of me. This is the part of me. And I think that's the difference between if you build your following through social media, it feels like they know all of you when they don't know all of you. I'm telling you right now that there's like versions of me that no one knows.
Oh, I say that, but now this segment just started, the power of media and platform. And so, it's okay.
You understand what I'm saying, though?
No, but
100%.
Yeah, because it's we just finished elaborating.
What's coming up for you right now?
I'm learning that. I think it's in my nature to be myself and to lead with myself and to give all of myself, and people don't deserve that.
That's right.
Because it's not going to always be received in the intent that I mean for it to be received. I don't have control over public perception.
Brother, hold on. I know you, but brother, I'm holding back my tears. I should let them out, but you just started this segment. We just spent 25 minutes talking, and you being vulnerable got us here. And the way you live your life now, all of us need to take note. And that's including Instagram, TikTok, et cetera, et cetera. We feel, because we're in this new digital age, that we have to share everything. We have to be authentic. We have to be organic. And the reality is, the world it can be a nasty place. Is it filled with good people? Absolutely. But the world is a nasty place, and we have to be very careful what we put out there. I had it up. Thank you.
Nah, that's like, for me, I think it's like important if I see, like being a parent.
Tissue?
Being a parent at this age, like, I have a 10-year-old daughter, right? And that's just crazy.
I can put Kayla in that situation. That's right. 100%.
I have sisters.
But even
my daughter goes through this in school right now.
But what did you say when we first, everything we do is so intentional. The campaign, the revival, it was you that said, we gotta protect Kayla. You said, put her in the middle.
100%, because when I see her, I see my wife, my daughter, my mom.
That's right.
Every black woman I know.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm protective. I'm protective over all the women in my life, all the men in my life. My biggest protector is my wife.
Thank you.
So I know what it might feel like to be navigating.
That's right.
I'm good with my tear. I stand glowing.
I love you so much. Stop.
I know what it is to like navigate this space and feel lonely, or feel like, or have 1 million people and not know if, who cares about 1 million people? It's really 2, 3, 4, 5 people in your life.
Man.
That you're lucky to have, that you could call, count on. The 1 million, what the fuck about the 1 million? Give me 5.
After the podcast came out, I thought that I handled things with grace. I thought that I answered the questions to the best of my ability. The public had their interpretation of things. Didn't matter to me. My mom calls me though. And it's those conversations, like you said, that's what matters to me, because she's offended. She's hurt by the way people are perceiving her daughter. She's hurt at the negative headlines and the way that people are spinning it. And even my mom was like, maybe next time we don't answer those questions. And it's as simple as that. Don't give it any energy. You don't have to always respond. And I've been on that soapbox for a long time. I don't have to always respond.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question. How many times have you had press conferences? How many times have you been on podcasts?
I can count on one hand.
Exactly. We've been doing this our whole life.
Yeah.
We in real time we failed.
Yeah.
Either it's Tom Brady, LeBron, everybody, maybe not LeBron. LeBron just seems to do no bad.
I'm pretty sure you got a lot of skeletons.
And yeah, we all do. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying to you is this.
I think
like,
y'all got the skeleton.
basically what I'm saying
I'm good, baby.
is,
Baby.
Marty.
Oh,
No, but like, you know, you have to give yourself grace because you know who you are, and this new platform, celebrity, and all this amazing energy that's around you is going to come with that. And so then now you know, right? And then we all can look at you, and then people out there can be like, damn, when I get into that position,
Yeah.
how am I going to do that? Because I said, like, all right, we're gonna stay away from this, but then it was thrown out there, and now you're like, oh, what do I do? Let me tell you what seasoned people do. They get up and walk away. Let me tell you what seasoned people do. They say, I'm not going to answer that, right? But you're trying to be nice. You're trying to figure it out in real time. That's hard. That's hard. So
Yeah.
I actually I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
This
And you're, yeah.
is the last thing I would say because this is like fourth and really long. And but this is the thing I would say, like, I spent a lot of time in my garden. Well, I don't have my garden right now, but when I had my garden, I was a lot of time in my garden. I had to move my studio, so I'm in between gardens. And the one thing that was really interesting is like if you plant a seed, right? Everybody like plant these seeds and like something would grow. But the thing that no one really tells you is how much you have to work the soil around the seed, right? How much you gotta tend to it. You gotta pull the weed, protect the seed, water it, come back to nurture the seed. We had to spend so much time nurturing the seed. The interesting thing is though, it takes so much imagination and faith because you don't know if that seed's gonna grow. You don't know what's gonna come. All you think you could trust is the process. Tending to it, protecting it, watering it, doing what you can for the seed. And the crazy thing about flowers is you can't tell them when to bloom, right? And I say this because as you plant all these different seeds in your life, there's gonna be more time. This is just tilling to the soil, right? Pulling the weeds, these are weeds. You're gonna have to deal with it, you're gonna deal with it. And then one day it's just the seed's gonna emerge from the dirt, turn into a flower, right? But we have to do that over and over and over and over again, every single seed that we plant. So as you continue to plant these seeds in your life, they're gonna bloom in seasons. But sometimes we gotta realize that the season we're in is tending to the soil. And the tending to the soil is where we are made into better people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that had to do anything, but like I just think
I
about the
received
soil.
that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And all y'all out there that's watching this special with myself, Kayla Nicole, and Martellus Bennett, special guest, make sure you put in your seed in good soil, right?
You can always make the soil better too.
Matthew 13.
Yeah. Or you can just go in George Washington Carver.
Yeah. Can you land us? Can you get us out of here? Can you get us out of here?
That's more than inches.
Long.
More than extra long. Real conversations all the time. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Bring it in. I appreciate it.
All right. It was good. Yeah.